Welcome to Government Speak. This is where we'll cut through the government speak to get the information you need about county programs, services, and events straight from the source. Welcome to Government Speak, Contra Costa County's official podcast. I'm your host, Kristi Jourdan, Contra Costa County's Public Information Officer. And on this episode, we have Public Works Director Warren Lai and Public Information Officer Kalfsbeek joining us in studio at 10 Douglas. Warren, Kelly, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Kristi.
Thank you. Good morning.
The name of the department doesn't sound very intuitive, but what does Public Works do? What are the areas of focus for your team?
Right on. No, Public Works does soup to nuts. It does everything. So there's two parts of Public Works. There's obviously the outward side where it's roads, bridges, where we maintain traffic signals. We're out there maintaining stop signs or trimming trees or keeping the traveling public safe. And then we have the internal side, which is supporting other county departments. So we obviously have a hospital that we maintain. We maintain the detention facilities. We're out supporting different departments, the elections, making sure that their offices are up and running. We're supporting them in their services they provide.
So you could be out in the field doing road work one moment, and the next moment working in a county facility to make sure that it's, up and running and workable for folks.
Exactly. We have over 500 staff that are doing this. So it's maintenance workers, it's carpenters, it's plumbers, it's HVAC technicians, there's engineers, there's planners. We have them all.
So how many miles of roads do you maintain, bridges, all that sort of thing?
Over 660 road miles. So unincorporated county, all the way out in the east to Bethel Island, all the way west to El Cerrito, Richmond, as far south as San Ramon.
So you're really, you're covering everything. Then you also have the two airports too, right? You've got Buchanan and Byron.
It's really exciting times for us, actually. We have two airports, like you mentioned, Byron Airport, home of
Patriot Jet Team.
The Patriot team, which helped out in Top Gun. And then we have Buchanan Field Airport, recently newly constructed terminal building. So a lot of exciting stuff.
And we'll kind of go into storm season a little bit too, which is fitting because I know it's raining pretty hard outside, just so happens today. But so storm season, a lot of messaging comes out of your department for, storm preparedness, storm safety. How does the department prepare for bad weather? I know we're not just sitting around waiting for it. We're actually planning ahead for it too.
No. And storm preparedness happens year round. So, in the fall, our maintenance crews are out there. They're inspecting all our facilities. They're clearing out drains. They're clearing out ditches. They're getting ready for the storms. We're pre-positioning assets such as sandbag stations. We're getting the word out, letting folks know, hey, it's got to be a partnership. And so what can you do in your community? And so I think what's important is community preparedness. And as a resident, you go and clean out your gutters, and you can do the same for your own home and your community. Take an assessment. Look at where water typically ponds or floods. Clear out your drains. Look for storm drains in your area. I would avoid parking over them. That tends to be an issue, especially in the fall when we have lots of leaves, so they clog the drains. And a lot of our crews for that first storm, it's usually going out, meeting with residents, clearing out drains. And we also do want to mention our sandbag stations. We have 6 sandbag stations located throughout the county.
And I know we really push that messaging out, Kelly, as the public information officer. You're putting that messaging out around the sandbag stations. Do you have any stats for us about, amount of bags, amount of sand, all of that?
In a typical year, we put out about 4,000 sandbags a year in our sandbag stations. So when you go out there, that's a lot of tonnage of sand.
And so when you're talking about going out there, there's self-service sandbags, right? So what does that mean?
So residents or community members can go to each sandbag station. There'll be a pile of sand, their sandbags. Residents are asked to bring their own shovel and fill up your own sandbag.
We also encourage them to bring someone with them because it's a lot easier to fill the sandbags and to transport them, obviously, if you have someone else there with you.
Okay, so it's really the resources available, but you need some assistance to do that. That's kind of the community preparedness, perspective that you're talking about. When you're talking about cleaning out the drains, why is that important? Or looking at your property? What does it matter if my neighbor doesn't do that work on his or her property, but I'm doing it? What's the impact potentially?
So the first important part is obviously we don't want your neighbors to flood. So we got to talk about flooding. Don't flood your neighbors too. It's obviously those drains, they back up. So I want to make sure we talk about that.
I would say
Aware-
situational awareness is being not only aware of what's happening on your property, but what's happening nearby your property. So your roadside ditches, your culverts, your storm drains, even the side of your driveways. There's a lot of things that people just need to be aware of. And if you see that there's a storm drain on your street that maybe is not right in front of your house, but adjacent to your house, and that's plugged, that could end up flooding your neighborhood and flooding your property. So once again, it's just the situational awareness is walking your neighborhood, being aware of what's happening there. We really encourage people to go to our website, cccpublicworks.org. And we've got a lot of great flood forecasting tools. We've got flood maps. So know what your flood risk is in your particular area. If you've been prone to flooding before, again, we want you to be proactive. But again, it's like if you're downhill from somebody or you're near a drain that's plugged up, it could end up affecting your property and your neighborhood. So we want to make sure that you just stay aware of that.
So community preparedness is really about the whole community and making sure that, we acknowledge these systems are connected. And so the behaviors that we have on our property could actually impact something else down the road.
Right, absolutely. And that's why we also suggest to people, if you see something, say something to us. If you see some drainage maybe in your neighborhood that it looks like it's starting to back up, reach out to us and notify us, request services, report a service issue to us so we can look into that problem.
Well, let's talk about that. So you have a lot of different resources and tools to provide information to folks before a storm happens and then while, there's a storm actually occurring. What are some of the ways that people can report?
We've got a lot of great tools and resources available for our customers to report service issues or request services from us. We have our mobile citizen app, which is free for download. We also have our customer portal, which is web-based and allows people to request services or report service issues either anonymously or by creating an account. Or they can call us at 925-313-7000. That's our maintenance division. But all of these resources are available on our website, which is cccpublicworks.org. And no matter how you contact us, we just appreciate you being, once again, proactive and reaching out and letting us know when you see something so we can address the issue before it becomes a problem.
And not just automatically assuming that you're aware of it already. I know, there are some folks who might just make that assumption. So it's better to get multiple reports on an issue than it is to not report it at all.
Absolutely. And if more than one person reports it to us, then we add that onto our service request. So we let them know that several people are concerned about it. Also, if you want to be notified what's happening as a result of the request that you made, we can notify you what actions that we're taking and what steps are happening.
So it's really a true partnership. It's you're getting information in, but you're also making sure that people know that there's an action being taken, that their feedback is being heard, and that you're addressing issues that need to be addressed.
Absolutely, because public safety is our priority. So we want it, again, as Warren mentioned, we want it to be a partnership. We want them to know that not only are we being responsive to the requests that they're making, but we also want to give them the tools that they can use to keep themselves safe.
And so, yeah, no, absolutely, because I think that throughout the years we're working on, storm preparedness. The county, we do a pretty good job of participating with the National Flood Insurance Program, and a little bit about that through FEMA is what types of practices as an agency do we do to help encourage our community, our folks to have better flood management practices. And because we do certain things like have a floodplain management ordinance and we're doing outreach and we're informing folks, we receive a 20% discount for flood insurance premiums for all unincorporated residents of Contra Costa County. So if you're out there, you're in a special flood hazard area and you need to get flood insurance, you get 20% off your premiums just by being in unincorporated Contra Costa County.
And that's another example of being a good stewardship, with taxpayer-funded resources.
Absolutely.
So, Warren, how long have you worked for Public Works now?
Wow, it seems like a long time. It's been 26 years. I started as an entry-level engineer in 1998.
And, did young Warren aspire to become the director? I mean, this is a relatively new transition for you. This is, a couple years into the mix now, right? You're heading into year two?
I'm heading into year two.
How's it been?
It's been a wild ride. very gratifying. I think one thing as director, your first year, you realize how much support you received when you become a department head. And the support from the county administrator's office, the support from my department, wanting me to be successful, to provide the services that we have, and to lead this department.
So what are some of the areas of focus for you and the team as you head in, to 2025? What are some things that you're focusing on?
I think of a couple of things. Internal focus of mine is to talk about our department leadership and to focus on people, process, and results. And people is about relationships and the relationships we have with one another and the teams that we build. And process is about how we do business. Are we reaching out to others? Are we collaborating? How we make decisions? And then the results, which is the final product. Are we doing what we say what we're doing, and are we doing meaningful work? And I always kind of think working on the right thing at the right time. And are we doing that? Asking that question constantly and thinking, is this meaningful to the community? Is it meaningful to each other? And is that result, does it hit the mark?
Are there specific locations in the county that you're focusing on with some of your work, or are there goals? Humanizing the work, I think, is huge. I know for the storytellers of the county, myself included, I really want to acknowledge the people behind the work, because the public service doesn't happen without the people to put on the programs and services. So what does that mean for you?
Well, this last recent storms that we're going through right now, you start seeing pictures of your folks, our maintenance crews out there. They're unclogging a drain, and you see that where they're doing it. As a matter of fact, over the weekend, they were working over at Contra Costa Center, Pleasant Hill BART. And yeah, it could be a simple drain that they're that they're unclogging, but you realize there's traffic backed up, there's people that are using those facilities, and there's somebody out there that's doing that work. And it's very gratifying, because you do hear, wow, it got cleared, or you see it on Nixle, or you see it on the media, road is cleared, and there's a certain feeling you get. And I almost equate it to that. As we're in the holidays, we have that warm and fuzzy feeling when you give a gift, and trying to recreate that. And how do we recreate that with our jobs? It's with our services. And there's smiles on people's faces. Recall this last election. When you work with the elections, they're stressed, they're trying to get things done, they're trying to do their jobs. And when they say, hey, our buildings, we fixed a leak, or we were able to get that elections box open, or we were to help support a polling station, and you see that gratitude in people's eyes, and you know that they're doing their service, you get that warm feeling. Or it's responding to a traffic signal outage, and the lights are blinking, and people are stressed, and you see social media blowing up saying, hey, what's going on out here? And it might not be a safe condition. Then you see a social media post that says, all clear, all good, traffic's back and flowing. There's a certain feeling you get. Or when you meet a resident and they say, I can't believe you were out there that night and clearing that street, and we were able to get to the store, or we were able to go to our holiday party, there's a certain gratitude you feel. Or from my perspective now, as you start working in administration, there's all that government, we use that term bureaucracy, and what seems inefficient, and somebody's got to cut through that. And these are the opportunities that I look forward to with my leadership team to say, hey, this is our role, is to put into context, to figure out what's going on, cut through some of that bureaucracy, make a decision, and hopefully make a tangible difference.
Well, and it's all about improving the quality of life for folks in Contra Costa County. And I think that's the mission of the county, and the ways that it plays out for the Public Works Department. Sometimes it inconveniences folks. If you have your roads project, you're going to put your cones out there, but ultimately it's rooted in safety and, making sure that you're safe getting to your final, destination, making sure that your car is okay, so you're not hitting potholes, because that's an investment for you as well. So I certainly understand that. What keeps you coming back? You said 26 years with Public Works. You worked your way up from being a traffic engineer. So, what is it about Contra Costa County and the Public Works Department?
I definitely feel like it's the people, the relationships that you build. And I think you look at it as a large team, and you need everybody in your team to make it work. And one of the things one of the ex-Public Works directors shared with me is Public Works, we're like the offensive line on a football team. When everything's going well, no one notices. But when something happens, they blame you. And so I don't look at that as a negative. I think the folks I work with, I think they have that behind-the-scenes attitude. They want to contribute. They don't need to be in the limelight per se. And I think there's something about that service and that camaraderie, and that at the end of the day that we accomplish something. So I think about the team. I think about the folks that I work with. I do think about the services we do provide, and you realize when you build those services, build that infrastructure, people are using that. And it's a sense of place where other services are being provided, like a park, for example. It's great that we build parks and maintain parks, but what's even better is all the fun activities that you see at the parks, where there's birthday parties or there are events, and a lot of those interactions really build the community.
And, I mean, that's great. I think another really good example of that is the plaza, the new plaza in downtown Martinez for the new administration building, B. There was a lot of work that went into that. What was the role for Public Works in that project?
We definitely supported the county administrator's office in delivering that project. It was a design build project led by the county administrator. But building that project takes a team. Again, countless individuals in our capital projects management team, our facilities team, and our real estate team in terms of negotiating the property rights, as well as our custodial team in maintaining it. And so, again, when you look at infrastructure, it's not just what's happening there, it's how many hands touch that. And in this case, hundreds of folks worked on that project.
Kelly, as the communicator, as one of the communicators for the department, how do you connect with people? What platform and tools should folks monitor to make sure they're up to date?
Well, thank you for asking, Kristi. We are currently on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and our handle is CCC Public Works. And we also have a TV show called Inside Public Works that we produce, and I'm lucky enough to host that. We get to talk about the programs, projects, and services we offer, and also give people a chance to find out how these projects came about, how they impact their quality of life, and it gives us a chance to shine a spotlight too on the people that we work with. As Warren mentioned, there's a lot of passion behind what we do, and that's why I'm so, honored and to be able to represent the 18 divisions that we do. It's so diversified, and a lot of times when I speak to people and I say, I want to talk about this, and they're like, why? I'm not important. What I do isn't a big thing, and it's like, it is, and it's nice to be able to talk to the community and find out how the projects that we deliver to them do improve the quality of their life, and also to be able to give them a background of that your voice does matter. How do these things come about? Usually someone, again, reaches out to us. I have a question or a concern, and that could be the seed that germinates a project that comes out down the line. So it's great. It's on, I hope you check it out, Inside Public Works. It's on YouTube, and we produce that with the wonderful people at Contra Costa Television, and it's kind of a labor of love for us. Once again, it's just letting people know about what we do, who we are, and how we impact the quality of their lives. And we really look forward to showing that. And it's been gratifying for us because not only do we hear about some community members, but some staff members, because we're in 18 different divisions, because we're all concentrating on what we're doing, finding out about their fellow staff members and all the things that we do because we are so diversified. So it's a wonderful tool. Again, any of our social media handles, you can find those. You are also go to our website, cccpublicworks.org, and you have access to all of our, our Inside Public Works, all of our programs, projects, services, social media. So everything's in one place for you right there.
So, I mean, truly the communication behind it, and I might be biased, but the communication behind the work that's done at Public Works also might be the only opportunity someone has to hear more about what's happening at Public Works. And so there's really a value there that also helps show, I think, kind of the benefits or, the stewardship behind the use of taxpayer dollars. I mean, there's a lot of work and information that goes into the decision making, Warren, at your level, and then when you're communicating with the county administrator and the board to be able to highlight those projects and prioritize and make sure you're using funding. Beyond that, if we've covered a lot, if there's one takeaway from our discussion, what would you want people to remember the most?
I do think that Public Works is all about the people and the services we provide. And so I like folks to know that when you see your infrastructure or you see someone responding to something, there's a person behind it and they're dedicated and they care about it and the work that they do is meaningful.
Kelly, what about for you?
Yeah, like I said, we're just proud to serve the people of Contra Costa County, and Public Works is very passionate about what we do. And once again, if you see anything that's amiss in your area, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because that's important for us to be there for you and to let you know that we are there to respond to anything that you have. Any questions, any concerns, we love hearing from you. Even if it's something that's bad happening in your neighborhood, or even if it's something that's good happening in your neighborhood, we're always here, and we always want to hear from you, and we want to improve the quality of life.
Well, great. Well, that's it for today's show. I'm your host, Kristi Jourdan, Contra Costa County's Public Information Officer. Thanks for joining us on Government Speak, brought to you by the Office of Communications and Media. But don't just take our word for it. Stay curious, stay connected, and stay informed. Until next time, keep your mind open and your facts straight.